As canola harvest is starting to wind down across the state, we want to get perspective on this year's crop from our winter canola extension specialist, Josh Bushong. And Josh, just give us an overview of how things went in Oklahoma this season.
Well, just like in wheat, our winter canola harvest is about 2 weeks early due to the drought. We had guys starting in southern Oklahoma really early because of the drought. The crop being an annual crop is going to produce whatever it can and whatever moisture it has. We've seen that across the state where stressed areas that got late rains had a bunch of regrowth, getting more leaves and green pods at harvest, delaying harvest. Overall, we're about 90% finished. Yields are a little bit lower than what we like to see, but the price is also higher than what we usually see, so they kind of balance themselves out. We have some guys that had total crop failure, and some guys, the highest I've heard is about 41 bushels. So still doing fairly well. A lot of new guys, this first year learning, obviously, figuring out which harvest method they like. Some guys that swath had hailstorms after swathing and before swathing. So we saw a little benefits from the swathing, but obviously as the hail gets to a point or a size, it doesn't matter what you do with the crop, it's going to shatter out. Around Kingfisher, we lost a lot of seed due to the storms. But as we move up north central Oklahoma, we're seeing some good yields, and up northwest towards Kiowa, we've seen some real good yields. So.
Now, the last time we talked to you, which was about 6 or 8 weeks ago, the fields were the beautiful yellow flowers that we love so much. Everybody was excited about the potential. The crop was looking good, but it sounds like there were really a lot of challenges in the canola region, just like comparable to wheat. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, obviously when you have a stressed crop due to drought or other things, you're going to have increased insect pressures. Typically in a normal year, they don't come in till early or after the plants mature, where the pods are already starting to harden, so their piercing, sucking mouth part won't really cause much damage. The drought this year, since the insect likes dry conditions, it came in earlier for some reason. We did see some yield loss due to the insects. They come in at high numbers. Most of the time they stay on the ground, but often they'll move up into the pod layer and feed on the pods, and we've had a bunch of shriveled seed and just overall loss due to the insect.
Okay, and switching gears a little bit and talking more about the specifics of harvest. For some of the producers who were new to canola harvest, what were some of the challenges and questions that they had when you were out in the field with them concerning combines and how equipment was set up?
One of the main keys to setting the combines I found is I go out and help the farmer. He's already got what he thinks is about as good as he can get. And oftentimes I go up and look in the bin and they got it as clean as they can, like seed wheat clean basically. So doing that, usually they have their fan speed up too high. They're blowing a lot of the canola seed out the back of the combine. Dockage in canola, foreign material, or dockage is just a weight deduction, so it's not much of a penalty. A lot of guys are keeping around 4 to 10% dockage, just to ensure they get all the seed they can. One good way to measure how much you're losing out the back of the combine or losing off the table or the header is to count how many seeds per square foot. Depending on seed size, it can be anywhere from 115 to 125 seeds per square foot would be about a bushel of canola on the ground. So you can kind of gauge that. It usually always looks worse than it actually is. Obviously a bunch of seeds on the ground, but typically it looks worse than it is.
Okay, some things to think about next time. And finally, as harvest is winding down, any thoughts for producers as they start looking ahead to next year's winter canola crop?
Yeah, and obviously some of our growers that's experienced and grown in a few years, they know this isn't the normal year. They know what it can do. A bunch of our first-time growers, obviously there's a bunch of headaches this year. A bunch of them are still optimistic. They're looking forward to trying it again next year, maybe increasing acres. Some other factors that might influence wheat or canola acres is if they can't find seed wheat or such things. But we're still seeing all the other benefits from canola. It's still as profitable as winter wheat. So we're still getting the profit from that and seeing the benefits from the rotation of using a different crop with wheat. Cleaner fields, increased wheat forage, wheat yields. So still seeing all the benefits, so the guys are still optimistic.
So rise above those challenges, in other words.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh Bushong, our winter canola extension specialist. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.